Hey guys, it's Davey here, and it's currently day 68. Hopefully, you guys had a wonderful day and doing better than yesterday. Now, I'm sure you guys read the title, and it is true. I have a lot of bad habits and a lot of battles I'm currently facing. I'm far from impeccable, right? I have a lot of bad traits. And there are certain battles that I have overcome, and there are certain battles, many that I am still facing to a daily basis. And one of those bad habits I'm currently facing right now is my campsite addiction. Right. I have a very, very bad campsite addiction. Now, this happened right after I got released from prison. Right. I have a very bad campsite addiction. Now, the reason I am addressing this today, because obviously, like all addiction, it is important to just be honest with it. Be honest that you have an addiction and just figure out ways to eliminate it. Now, your addiction may be porn, your addiction may be not reading, or your addiction may just be simply not going to the gym or playing video games. Your addiction could be anything, maybe a drug addiction, but whatever your addiction is, just know it is special to you and you are facing it and you have your own demons to overcome. Now, my own demons to overcome right now is this campsite addiction, right? What is a campsite? A campsite is just basically paid porn, guys. It is basically paid pornography. Now, you guys may think I'm referring to a campsite like Live Jasmine or any of those other campsites you see browsing the hub, where you tip cam models to do things you want to do or etc. But that isn't the campsite I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is a one-on-one campsite like KuMeet, 1v1 chat, Livey, Omega, etc., right? Those cam chat where you have a one-on-one session with someone. Think about like Omegle or the Monkey app or any other apps you use to just randomly video chat strangers, right? But instead of just talking under 18 stuff, you do explicit things on there, right? I'm talking about jerking off to each other, right? That is the campsite I'm referring to, and I have a very bad addiction to that, right? Now, this is a bad addiction because like all pornography addiction, it is harmful to you, right? It is harmful, it slows you down, it kills your ambition, and this is no different. However, many times I try to convince myself that this is better than pornography because the person is real, the person is focusing solely on me, and I'm treating it as if it's like a virtual girlfriend or whatever, right? And I try to convince myself, persuade myself that this is better than pornography because I'm not watching someone else. But at the end of the day, porn is porn. If you never met the person, if it's a total stranger, then you're basically wasting your energy on some pixels on the screen, right? So this was no different to me. Now, I got very easily addicted to campsites because I was addicted to porn. Right now, obviously, going into jail, there was no pornography, but I could say that during my prison sentence, I managed to eliminate that habit. However, I always had this desire to go on a campsite in prison. I had this desire because I was introduced to campsites a few days prior to getting locked up. So that was really all I could think about in order to porn, right? So we had no porn, and I was always fantasizing. I was always desiring that one day when I get out, I can finally check out these campsites that I was introduced to prior to prison. Now, obviously, this was one of the worst decisions I could possibly ever make in my whole entire life. And I could say that this addiction is so bad to me and so traumatizing to me that I could say it was worse than my drug addiction. It was harmful, more harmful than my drug addiction because it kills you guys. Right? It not only kills your drive, it kills your bank account. Right? I'm ruthlessly spending money on campsites on a daily basis when I first got released. And obviously this is still a battle I'm facing right now. So I thought by paying for a porn site, eventually I'll stop porn altogether, right? Because I thought if I'm losing money right now paying for these 1v1 video sessions, then eventually I'll know I'm losing money. And this isn't a habit I can maintain, right? This isn't something I could sustain because I had no money coming in. I was pretty much broke. I had a few $100s in my bank account. I had really no money to be doing this, right? So the way I saw campsite was almost just like I'm gonna come out and watch, have a one session, right, and then just kind of fulfill my desire, my fantasy and move on from there. And because I thought I would never spend money on this again because I had no money to spend. Now, that was true after my first session. However, that wasn't the case. That's not how it ended, unfortunately. I wish I stopped in the first session. When I first began, I spent $10 a day, but that soon became $35 a day and then $50 a day. And the most I spent was $150 a day. Now, bear in mind, this is not tipping girls. This is only for the minutes alone. So let's just say, for example, 10 minutes gets you around 10 to 15. $10 gets you around 10 to 15 minutes. Sorry. And 150 could get you upwards of 3 hours plus, because when you spend more money, you get a bundle, you get a discount, etc. Blah blah blah, right? So during one day, I managed to sit through 3 to 5 hours of sessions straight, nonstop. Now, that is crazy and that is a depressing life. And it sure is. This is why it was so harmful to me, because like porn, guys, we can't sit through 2 hours straight. We get bored after the one or second video. The most we probably do is 1 hour plus, but never 4 to 5 hours. But campsite was a different thing to me, right? It was different, it was harmful, and it honestly killed my brain cells, guys. It killed my brain cells, and it is honestly horrible. And here's the worst thing, guys. I probably would sit through those campsites for a whole entire day if my credit card didn't cancel on me. It got to such a bad state where I was trying to source any money I had around the house, selling shit just to spend more money on this campsite, almost like an absolutely crackhead, right? Sourcing money around the house just to pay for his addiction. And honestly, this addiction isn't that much different from a crackhead's addiction. And I could say from my drug use days, this was absolutely worse, right? When I was doing drugs, I never had the need to scavenge for money or sell shit for money, right? It never happened. When I had no money, I simply stopped. But this was different. I legit physically got up my ass and went to search for money around the house. That's how detrimental this addiction had became for me. And honestly, guys, I became broke off campsites, right? When I had any spare money, I'll put it right into campsites. And when the urge was bad enough, and when my temptation is worse, when I had no more money to put in the campsite, I would get money out of my other funds or other investments just to put into campsites. So sometimes I'll miss a haircut, sometimes I'll miss some buying groceries because I took that money and put it into campsites. Now, obviously, at this stage, campsites has destroyed my life, right? It killed my good habits. It stopped me from doing a lot of good habits because I had to make time to sit through a campsite session, right? And it had forever left impact in my mind, right? It forever changed me. All right, it changed me. It put me into a different lifeline because I was so addicted to this, right? And I'll never forget what I experienced. Right? I never forget what I had experienced. So even if though I cut this habit off, it is still an experience that I'll never be able to forget in my life. And this is why it is so traumatizing also. But at the end of the day, guys, this happened to me because I allowed it to impact me. I allowed it to happen. I made a bad choice. And here I am fighting off this demon, fighting off this bad habit that seems to just not leave me alone. No matter what I try, I somehow manage myself downloading the apps again and just spending more and more money again and just becoming more craved at this site. Now, if I don't wake up now, I never will. And the truth is, guys, this is a battle I'm still facing today. So that's all I gotta say for today, guys. Just to give you guys a brief explanation of my campsite addiction. Now, this is a horrible addiction. I don't recommend you guys going to campsites at all, because if you have a porn addiction right now, then most likely this may be the next worst addiction than porn, because it was for me. And I cannot guarantee you guys how you will feel after opening a campsite. Because honestly, guys, I was curious. To check it out. And when I did, I regret that decision. Right? If I can go back in time, I'll definitely not do that. But obviously, here we are now, and I am faced with this challenge. There's nothing to be sad about, right? There's nothing to blame. There's no one to blame, because we know exactly who made the choice, and that isn't me. So Obviously, now I just gotta continue and figure out how on earth I'm going to overcome this. But like all of my challenges, I'll eventually find a way. But just let you guys know, if you guys are having some difficulties in life, if you guys are having some bad challenges and habits you want to get rid of, just know you're not alone in this world. And I can promise you guys, if you keep on looking, if you really want to destroy this habit, eventually you'll find a way and eventually you will cut it off. Just know to not give up and keep on trying. But this is all I got to say for today. Hopefully, you guys had a wonderful day. And I'll come back with you something valuable tomorrow. So I'll see you guys there. Bye bye.